There were two men in a boat. One was a very learned pundit of great education. He looked down on those with ordinary people with no education, as he came from a well-to-do family. His temporary traveling companion in this boat was an uneducated commoner. The educated pundit said to the commoner, "Well, tell me, have you read Patanjali's?" "No," said the humble man, "I have never been to school. I don't know these things." "Well, tell me," said the pundit, "do you know the Bhagavad Gita?" "Oh, no, sir. I really can't read that well." The pundit just sniffed at this with disdain. Each great spiritual text that he mentioned, the common man did not really know what they were. As they were going down the river, the waters began to rise, and a terrible storm was threatening the boat. The commoner looked at the pundit and said, "Well, tell me, sir, do you know how to swim?" "No," said the pundit, "I never learned how to swim, but I read all these good books." "Well," said the commoner, "I do know how to swim," and the common man swam to safety. The lesson in this Hindu story is obvious. It is like the Arab who said, "I believe in Allah, but I always tie up my camel." It is with these words of wisdom that Hindu teachers teach, with parables, as did Jesus. This is one of the signs that shows that Jesus was indeed trained in the Himalayas and India to be a guru. Looking at the signs outlined by Yogananda of what a true guru is, these signs will be evident. As the signs are as follows. His eyes are still and unwinking whenever he wants them to be so. By the practice of yoga, his breath is quiet without holding it forcibly in his lungs. His mind is calm without effort. If a man has eyelids that blink continually and lungs that act like bellows all the time, and a mind always restless like a butterfly, and he keeps telling you he is in cosmic consciousness, laugh at him. Just as a man cannot pretend that he is sleeping while he continues to run, so one with restless eyes, breath, and mind cannot convince you, who knows better, that he is in cosmic consciousness. Just as sleep manifests in the body by certain physiological changes, so the muscles, eyes, and breath all usually become still during cosmic consciousness. Another thing that Yogananda noted about the guru-disciple relationship, he emphasized that spiritual progression was necessary to have a guru-disciple relationship, and that the true guru usually knows what the disciple is feeling and thinking. They're very telepathic, thus they can guide their disciple to higher levels. Given this necessity for the guru-disciple relationship, it is obvious that Yogananda had picked out a successor, a disciple to carry on his work. That is the tradition of gurus in India, and there's something that they value very much is a lineage, which I don't know if it's like we do with families, but by one person having contact and help and aid from a guru, they can pass it on, and just by knowing the guru that is passed, the vibration is carried on, and the teachings is continued. This is the reason why it is so obvious that Yogananda had picked SWAMI KRIYANANDA to carry on his great works. And that unfortunately SRF decided to cut the lineage off. The church did the same thing with Jesus. Jesus had many valued disciples that he wanted to carry on his message. But the church took care of that and more or less said there's no more gurus, and if you want to get to heaven through Jesus, you come to us, the church. That is what happened to Jesus' disciples as well. Many of them, most of them were killed, and the lineage and teachings of Jesus got transmuted into a religious church, who then changed everything for their material gain. That is kind of understood. To continue, Part 5. Ministers in churches and priests in temples are oftentimes chosen only by virtue of their intellectual study of the scriptures and authority figures within their religion and religious orders, performed by formerly higher spiritual authority. But real ministers and priests who are fit to be gurus train first their inner selves in the theological school of intuition and meditation. They must spiritually baptize themselves first before they can aspire to baptize all others. They teach the disciples not for mundane gains, but being impelled by God, they baptize them spiritually. It is admirable to lecture and teach good principles, but without becoming a real guru, one cannot redeem souls, nor should he be accepted by others as disciples until he has progressed far himself. Once the true relationship of guru-disciple is established, there will be no more blind spiritual gropings and roamings on the part of the guru for any other reason, until there is instantaneous recognition between guru and disciple. But sometimes it takes long to remember consciously that past close friendship, or to recognize the forgotten memory of past incarnations so long ago buried beneath ash heaps of ignorance. It is said that one time a preacher of the ballyhoo type somehow managed to force himself into heaven. Surprised at not being profusely welcomed, he said, "Don't you know me, God? I introduced you and your son, Jesus, in the biggest auditoriums on earth." God and Jesus replied in unison, "You may have introduced us, but we did not know anything about it." The preacher, growing very angry, exclaimed, "Why, this is outrageous. I have sent souls to heaven by the carloads. It must be, by this time, getting packed tight with souls by me." Then God replied, "You managed to start them all right on their way, but none of them arrived." Yogananda continues, "You may be told by ignorant priests and ministers that they will send you to heaven, and you may blindly believe this to be so, but you cannot ever reach there without true meditation. Also, that one cannot be a guru by self-choice. He must be ordained to serve and save others by a real guru, or else he must hear in reality the voice of God asking him to redeem others. Many become self-appointed gurus. After reading a few occult books and listening to the voice of their own misguided imagination or their falsely imaginative subconscious mind. The many kinds of baptism described, if you bathe every day and meditate immediately after, if you are near a river or lake surrounded by God's scenic grandeur, and you bathe in them with the consciousness of purity, then you will feel the power of baptism by water. Water opens the pores of the skin, letting out the disturbing body poisons, calming and soothing the circulatory system. Water cools the nerve engines and sends reports of cool sensations throughout the vital centers, balancing evenly all the vital energies. All life came primarily from energy, then from nebulae, then from water. All seeds of life are irrevocably connected with water. Physical life cannot exist without it. Baptism by feeling if you love poetry and are much in the company of a great poet, he will baptize you with those clean, wholesome feelings and the appreciation of good in everything, which are aroused always by good poetry. Such baptism by feeling makes one imaginative and sympathetic. Baptism by moral consciousness or self-control, if you associate long with men of high morality and self-control, you will feel automatically an influence of moral consciousness and self-control in your life. Business baptism, if purposely you and attentively you associate with great creative business minds, you will be baptized or saturated by the consciousness of creative business ideas. The human body is a collective vibration of grossly stirring atoms and electrons and intelligent life force, finer than electrons. The soul, a reflection of spirit, while dwelling within it, cannot remember its omnipresent state. But by meditation, one can hear the vibration of the body, tuning out the vibration of the miasmic world, and then tune it with the cosmic mind, which emanates from the vibration of all atoms and life force. The Christian Bible says, God is the Word. The sage Patanjali, the great Hindu of yogis, says, the Spirit, God the Father, or Ishvara, manifests himself as cosmic vibration of matter. The Spirit was made flesh, for the intelligent spirit materializes itself into gross flesh by changing its rate of vibration. Cosmic intelligence becomes cosmic intelligent motion or vibration, which changes into cosmic energy. This intelligent cosmic energy changes into electrons and atoms. Electrons and atoms change into gas, sometimes known as cosmic nebulae. Cosmic nebulae, or masses of diffuse gaseous matter, change into water. Water changes into solid matter. Man is a part of this vibration divided by matter. In cosmic vibration, all things are one. But when cosmic vibration becomes frozen into matter, then it becomes many. Being separated from cosmic vibration again must retrace the various stages of higher vibration in order to lift his consciousness from the vibration of breath, heart, and circulation into the vibrating sound emanating from conscious life force and all atoms. With eyes closed, one can feel his unconscious limited. He is unconscious. His unconscious is limited by feelings of the flesh, by sounds of the breath, heart, and circulation, by deep meditation as taught in yoga. The yogi student can hear the voice of cosmic sound emanating from all atoms and sparks of cosmic energy. By listening to this omnipresent sound, the consciousness of the body-caged soul begins to gradually spread itself from the limitations of the body into omnipresence. One listening to this cosmic sound will find his consciousness spreading with it into limitlessness. The cosmic sound emulating from cosmic vibration is called the Holy Ghost. We will end this transcript here and keep in your heart and mind your meditations on what the Holy Ghost means to you. Perhaps it has been referenced in your religious organization while you were growing up, and it has come to mean many things with Western civilizations and Christian churches. It is a fascinating subject. If you are a spiritualist, you will recognize that it is the Holy Ghost that embodies this particular religion. So we'll end here. I would like for you to subscribe. Look in the lower right-hand corner. You will see a little cat. And the cat is sitting next to a Buddha. And the cat says, "That was Zen, Z-E-N, and this is Meow." If you click that, I will be able to notify you when the next transcript is released. There is much to contemplate here that will help shed light on who Jesus was, what the structure of the guru-disciple meant, and what Jesus' message was in the truest form.